So, when you hear the words archaeological mystery, what pops into your head? Is it lost tombs, hidden treasures, maybe some kind of ancient, undecipherable map? Well, those are definitely cool. But in this explainer, we're going to dig into what archaeologists really think about when they talk about the great unsolved puzzles of their field. You know, every field has its legendary cold cases, right? The big ones that just keep people up at night. And archaeology, well, it's no different. These are the huge, unsolved questions that really capture our imagination and can inspire a whole career's worth of research. Someone actually asked this on Reddit, and it's such a great question because it gets right to the point. And the answer? Oh yeah, a huge, resounding yes. Archaeology is absolutely filled with mysteries. So let's just run through a few of the most famous ones to get a feel for it. Okay, first up, the Antikythera mechanism. I mean, this thing is just wild. It's basically an ancient Greek mechanical computer, incredibly complex, and it was used to predict things like eclipses and the movement of the stars. But the real mystery isn't just what it is, it's the fact that it exists at all. See, a device this sophisticated couldn't have been a one-off. It had to be the result of a whole tradition of complex engineering, a tradition that has otherwise completely vanished. We just have this one single mind-boggling example. And then there are these things. Roman dodecahedrons. They are just weird. We found hundreds of these hollow, bronze, super intricate objects all across the northern parts of the Roman Empire, everywhere from Wales to Hungary. But here's the crazy part. Not one has ever been found in the heart of the empire, like in Italy or Rome itself. And no Roman writer, ever, not once, bothered to mention what they were for. We literally have no idea. It's not just objects, either. Sometimes the mystery is an entire language we just can't read. Take the script of the Indus Valley Civilization. Now, this was a massive Bronze Age culture, every bit as big and sophisticated as ancient Egypt. But their writing, it's a complete blank to us. We can't decipher it. And we also don't really know why this huge civilization eventually just disappeared. And finally, you've got the Sea Peoples. This was this mysterious group, a confederation of seafaring raiders who just terrorized the eastern Mediterranean around 1200 BC. I mean, Egyptian records blame them for helping to cause the collapse of entire empires, and yet for all that chaos, we know almost nothing about who they were or where they came from. Okay, so those are the big ones, right? The grand-scale, almost mythical mysteries. They're fantastic. But they aren't what most archaeologists are working on day in and day out. So let's make a little pivot here, away from the myths and towards the actual methods of the job. And this slide really nails the two sides of archaeology. Yeah, on one hand, you have those blockbuster questions, the hunt for Cleopatra's tomb. But on the other, you have the daily reality of the work. And that's all about solving thousands, and I mean thousands, of tiny little mysteries that all interlock. And when you put them all together, you get a picture of the past that's way more detailed than any single tomb could ever give you. So to really see how this works in practice, we're going to look at a real-world example. This is from an excavation report for just a single property in a town called Chelmsford in England. And this, right here, is where the real detective work starts. You know, a user on that same Reddit thread just put it perfectly. This is it. This is the whole game. It's the challenge, but it's also the thrill of the job. Trying to build a complete picture when you know for a fact you only have a few of the puzzle pieces. And this is what they're often starting with. I mean, let's be honest. To you and me, this probably just looks like a box of junk, right? Some broken pottery, a few scraps of tile, bits of glass. But to an archaeologist? No, no, no. These are the puzzle pieces. Every single one holds a clue. So what story did those scraps from that one site in Chelmsford tell? An absolutely incredible one, actually. It's a glimpse straight into life in the 16th and 17th centuries. Not just pottery, but get this, 747 pins and pin fragments, little metal lace ends for clothing, even offcuts of sheet metal, and tools like a hoe, a rake, a sickle. When you put it all together, the evidence points to this property being both a home and some kind of artisan's workshop, maybe for a leatherworker or a tailor. And here's the really cool part. By analyzing the different layers of soil and dirt that these things were found in, it's a technique called stratigraphy. Archaeologists can literally reconstruct the life story of this single plot of land. They can see the first house was built around 1500, then it was changed in a big way about a century later, then it was completely rebuilt around 1670, and then again in the 1800s. That is a 300-year history of a place, told entirely through its trash. So we've gone from the huge mysteries to a single house. Now, let's zoom in even further. Let's look at the story of just one type of object. Because the deeper you dig into the details, the more fascinating the mysteries become. All right, take a look at these two Roman oil lamps. Both were found in London. At the end of the day, they both did the same thing. They provided light. But for an archaeologist, the differences between them are an absolute treasure trove of data. The real question is, how do you systematically pull all that information out? Well, they don't guess. They follow a super rigorous scientific process, kind of like the one laid out in this handbook from the Museum of London. So it's never just a lamp. It's a whole series of questions. Step 1, what's the lamp group? Is it a picture, factory, or open lamp? Step 2, what's the nozzle type? Step 3, describe the design on the discus. Step 4, is there a maker's mark? Each and every answer is a crucial piece of data. And this is the payoff for all that painstaking detail. That's not just a pretty picture of the goddess Victory standing on a globe. Think about it. That tiny detail on a mass-produced everyday object tells us about Roman art, their religion, their manufacturing techniques, and the trade networks that stretched clear across the empire. It is a whole world of information packed into just a few square centimeters of clay. So, let's try and bring this all full circle. We've gone from the biggest mysteries you can possibly imagine, all the way down to the tiniest, most granular details. And by doing that, I think we arrive at what the real puzzle of archaeology truly is. And this gets us to a really crucial and kind of sobering point. It was captured perfectly by that Reddit user, Petty Trash Panda. Archaeologists are working with an incredibly incomplete picture. 90% or maybe even more of everything ever made by people in the past, the clothes they wore, the wooden houses they lived in, the tools they used, it's just gone, forever. And that right there, that's the ultimate mystery. It isn't really about finding the next lost tomb or cracking some ancient code. The true, deep, profound puzzle of archaeology is this. When you're faced with the overwhelming fact that almost everything from the past is gone, just how much can we possibly learn about our shared human story from the few precious scraps that happen to survive?